How's it hanging, YouTube? It's Peter here, your Ginger Jolly Geek. Welcome to the channel. And tonight we're going to be talking about The Boys. So no point in us talking to myself. So I've got an assembled cast of YouTube greats. So we'll start off with someone who I've not seen on the channel for a little while. And that's James Mack. How are you doing, James?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm very well, are you?
Not so bad, mate. Not so bad. How are things going on MJ Comics? Because you guys are just going from strength to strength, aren't you?
Yeah, we're doing all right. We've reached like 750, I think, recently. So that's really happy to reach that. And we've bought some pretty big books recently. So we've got some videos coming out if anyone wants to check them out every Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
So you've got a set 6 o'clock slot now.
Yeah, for every Wednesday. Yeah. That's what we try to do. Yeah, that's what we try to do.
Superb. Well, it's always nice to have you on, mate. Always enjoy.
No, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
So we've got, again, one of my favourite YouTubers and the person really that got me into YouTube, if I'm being honest, Jason Parker. How are you doing, Jason?
Hello. Hi, mate. How are you?
Very well, very well. It's lovely to see you as ever. Now, slightly nervous, Jason. Slightly nervous. Right. The last few times I've had you on, it's fair to say that there's not been a lot of preparation or thought behind. No. So I'm a little nervous. Have you watched The Boys? Do you know what it's about?
Is that music video with Sabrina dancing up and down in the pool?
Exactly. No. That's what it is.
Yeah. I've studied that really hard.
Pete,
it was hard. Yeah.
I've interrogated his internet history, and it's Little Boys.
Oh, right. Got you.
Shit like that. Right. Yes, I have watched.
My apologies.
Episodes, all 4 episodes. Obviously, I haven't seen the 5th episode.
Yeah. So just to be clear, we're not going to be talking about the 5th episode tonight.
Good. Yes, I'm sure there's lots for us to talk about, mate.
Absolutely. Looking forward to getting into it. Well, I'm not going to say what I think yet, but I'm really looking forward to getting into it. I've got, again, one of my other good friends who I always enjoy spending time with. We've got Luke. How's it doing, Luke? You all right?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me. The boys are back in town. Check us out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you well?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Tremendous. We've now got another guy who's fresh to my channel. He's not really been on before, but I've met him at Thought Bubble last year, and he's been on our Sunday show on a few occasions, and that is Simon the Comic Lad. How are you doing, Simon?
Hi, how are we doing?
Not so bad, mate. Are you well?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah.
Good. And it's fair to say that when I put up the call to talk about The Boys, you were straight there. So you've got
I love The Boys. It's one of my favorite shows at the moment. So
tremendous. Okay, guys, looking forward to getting into it. So before we do that, I'm just going to quickly jump to the chat. We've got the Grey Man here. Lowe's, nice to see you, Grey. I would just like to publicly say that Grey is a very nice man, and he's a good friend, and he's got a tremendous beard, and these shows are amazing and all the rest of it. The reason I say that is because he held me to task on Saturday when I did his show, and basically said that I was friendly with everybody else on YouTube, but I hadn't kind of said hello and thank you to him. So after 3, can we all just wave and say, hi, Grey Man, you're great. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Grey Man.
You're great.
Yeah, tremendous.
You're great.
Thank you very much. We've got Ben, just for turn girl. Ben's fresh from them seeing Buzz Lightyear. So Ben, just drop a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the comments. I suspect I know what your views will be, but be interested to know how much you've enjoyed it. A little turd from Benjamin there. The termite would not have worked against Thanos. Yeah. We've got straight in with Fuzzy there. Fuzzy, always a pleasure. Lovely to see you. And thank you very much for joining. We've got good old MJ Comics. Simon's becoming quite the YouTube slut. It's true. It is true. Yeah. Proper respect. That's more like exactly, Gray. Exactly, Nate. Okay, guys. So let's get straight into it. I will come back to the chat on and off throughout the conversation. Little presentation as usual from me, really just to kind of guide where we're going with this. And like I said before, in this show, we are going to purely focus on episodes 1 to 4. And we're going to come back and do another show, perhaps in a few weeks' time, to look at the remaining episodes. Now, goes without saying, there are spoilers ahead. I think we're going to get into quite in depth with some of the stuff that's gone on. So if you haven't seen the series, please do go and check it out because it is tremendous. Before we get into that, I just wanted to kind of check with you guys. Who's actually read the comic book? Have any of you actually sat and read all 71 issues of The Boys?
No.
So I've not read all 71, but I've read quite a bit of it.
Okay.
I've read probably the first graphic novel.
All right.
But we're way beyond that now. We're way beyond it.
Yeah.
Jason, Simon, have you read it?
No.
Okay, so I'll curtail some of the things I was going to talk about later on because there are some interesting changes in this series. I think I've read all 71 issues. It's an amazing series, and unlike a lot of kind of comic to TV shows, it does keep relatively faithful to the book. I think in some areas it's well worth reading, and it's one of those things, you know, where if you've got the complete story in 71 issues, it's worth picking up the trades just to have a bit of a read of it. Okie dokie. So again, before we get into the TV series, I did just want to touch on this because I don't think we've talked about this on any of the shows. No. Who's seen Diabolical?
Me.
Yeah. Not me.
What do you think of Diabolical then, guys? So
Love
Diabolical obviously being the animated kind of anthology series that came out a little while ago.
Yeah, I've only seen 2 episodes, but I loved it. I thought it was really, really funny.
Which 2 episodes was that, Jason?
The baby, the laser baby, and the special home for shitty neat.
That was my favourite episode.
Yeah, was it Mo Slow?
Yeah.
Who ends up pissing himself before he gets to the toilet. And
have you seen it, Luke?
No, I've not seen the
No,
animated.
it's to me, it's one of those like animation episodes that like could fill in The Boys, and I felt like they brought it in and it would lead on to The Boys series, but it didn't. So
I mean, it's a bit like each episode's kind of a standalone episode set in The Boys universe, and the variation in animation style and storytelling between each episode, I think, is quite drastic. But there are some absolutely amazing episodes. I sat and watched the anime episode with my son, the one where the guy's superpower is he can bring poo to life.
Yeah.
Which was just.
There's one episode, Luke, basically where they introduce everyone who's had powers from whether it's like Compound V or anything like that, and they've got crap powers. Like everything's like, and they live all together, and they're like.
Do you guys, not to go off on a bit of a tangent, but did any of you guys watch Misfits on
bits of it,
or E4?
Bits of it,
yeah.
And there was a character there who everyone thought had a crappy power, and he could control cheese.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And he like dairy products, but literally like he could just annihilate everyone because they all had some form of dairy product within their system from breakfast or whatever. And he just killed everyone apart from the one guy who was lactose intolerant.
Exactly.
I mean, it really is worth going back and watching, I think, because there are some superb episodes, and I mean, even the episode where the poo one, the poo's my favorite. I don't know why I'm fixated on the poo for some reason, but the poo episode is tremendous, and the baby episode's good fun. But that animation style is very different episode to episode, so well worth going back and having a bit of a watch. And I'm hoping they do a season 2. I'm not sure if they've announced a season 2 or anything yet. But it's well worth watching. Yeah, okay, guys. So season 3 of The Boys. First off, I'm assuming you've all watched seasons 1 and 2 and like them. Yeah. How do you think this so far is comparing to season 1 and 2? Jason, I'll go to you first.
It's my favorite season so far. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
First season for me was a bit of a slow burn, wasn't it? Because we were like kind of getting used to the characters, and there was the initial first episode where Huey's girlfriend got annihilated by A-Train.
Yeah.
But this season, it's for me, they are going from strength to strength, and I think season 3 is the best so far. You got some new characters. You got some really standout, hilarious moments. Some really sad moments as well.
Yeah.
And it's a good mix of emotions going through it. For me, I love it. I think it's brilliant.
Good stuff. James?
Yeah, Sam, I think it's my favourite season to date, I think. Only 4 episodes that we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm. You've seen the 5th, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Of these 4 episodes, yeah, the last episode was the best one.
Yeah.
And I love, to be honest, I love Homelander. His character portrayal is absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Genuinely believe like he's unhinged.
Yeah.
And I'm literally on tender hooks every time there's a scene because I genuinely don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that time when he's just going to like rip somebody's head off or something.
And I think, we'll get to it in a bit, I guess, but you're seeing that more and more each episode, aren't you? And there's that kind of realization now that he just doesn't give a shit anymore. And that's really quite terrifying. What about you, Simon? What do you think?
Definitely. Like, it's one of my favorite seasons. Yeah. There's definitely some spoilers in it. Definitely with the deep. And when he eats the octopus. And that's a big I was like, whoa. The scene before it and the scene after it, to me, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I think while it is a big season, I think the next few episodes are gonna lead on to something big.
Yeah. Luke?
Yeah, so this is one of those shows that when it's off the air, you don't really think about it. And then all of a sudden it comes back, and boy, does it come back with a vengeance. Like, all of a sudden you realize just how good this show actually is, not only because of the writing and the actual storytelling, but how funny it is as well.
Yeah.
So I've absolutely loved season 3 so far. I have only watched the 4 episodes, and I'm desperately trying to avoid spoilers. So please, no one ruin the episode 5 for me. I'm probably asking for it by saying that. But no, I mean, when it comes to Homelander, I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of all of this, he's still the one standing. Like, they might try and go up against him and fail, and that be it. And he's still just there. Like, the guy is an incredible actor and a great character.
So I guess it depends how closely they follow the comics. And I'm not going to go into that in too much detail because if they stick with the comics storyline, there are some real good kind of switches and things like that. Ben's just mentioned in the comics there about Homelander again. I completely agree. Every episode, I'm kind of taken aback at how good he is in terms of the actor. But I guess what I would say is I think there are some tremendous actors overall on this. Gray mentioned the Deep there, and he's right. In the comics, the Deep's not mentioned a great deal, but the guy who plays the Deep in this is phenomenal as well. I think it's a very good assembled cast. Sorry, Luke, you were saying.
No, I was just going to say the guy who plays Homelander. I'm not sure of the actor's actual name.
Something
Anthony Starr.
Yeah,
Anthony Starr.
I first saw him on a show called Banshee.
Everybody tells me this. Yeah.
I'm not sure where you can find Banshee. I'm not sure where you can stream it, but my God, is that a great show? And I highly recommend anyone to go and watch that. He is superb in that as he is in this.
Yeah, I think did you guys see a film a couple of years back, which was a bit of a letdown, to be honest, called Brightburn or Burn Bright? Can't remember which way around it was.
It was Brightburn,
the superhero one.
Yeah, about the kid.
The kid. Yeah.
I enjoyed that film to a point, but in my head, I was thinking I would love a kind of a live action Invincible kind of series with Omniman kicking off and all that. Now, this guy would play that to a T, I think. If you did a kind of either a follow-on to Burn Bright, with him as kind of the grown-up nutcase superhero, I just think he's phenomenal. Brilliant actor. Right, guys. So what I'm going to do, just to refresh everybody's memories, I'm going to read the kind of the synopsis that each episode's put out there, and then I'll show you some images, and we'll just use those to kind of talk around a little bit. All right. So episode number 1 is called Payback. 1 year follow-on Stormfront's public controversy. Butcher and the boys now work as contractors for Newman's Bureau of Superhero Affairs in order to apprehend problematic superheroes, with Huey acting as their liaison. So I've stuck a few images up just to prompt your memories of some of the beats from that series. And I guess the first thing I want to start on and get your views on, and I think this has been consistent every episode for me, is these kind of Vought-sponsored adverts or movies or whatever. And this one started with the kind of the Dawn of the Seven. With, is it Charlie Theron?
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron, yeah. What did you think of that? And we'll start with you, Simon. What did you think of that bit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've got the original 7, and now we're trying to like introduce this new 7, and it's like it's hard to fill in the original 7, really. Like, you've got Starlight, who's one, and then they're trying to fill the gap of the original 7, and I think they're struggling, but they're trying. So,
yeah. What about you guys, Luke? What did you think of it?
Yeah, I like how they keep like kind of intertwining these movie things. You know, the fact that these superheroes are a marketing device. You know, I love that concept, that whole idea within this universe. You know, like what they've mentioned in other episodes where, you know, you give this to a proper soldier and what you could have, let alone someone who has just had it by accident, and, you know, someone that you can actually control. This thing could be quite serious. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot there, isn't there? It's got layers to it, lots of depth.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was superbly done. I thought it was really nice. I thought the kind of the tongue-in-cheek Mickey take of, you know, Dawn of Justice and the Justice League and all that kind of stuff was really well done. And then, you know, having A-Train kind of running at the end, then announce, look, I'm back kind of thing, was excellent. Jason and James, the next scene was
the party.
Yeah, the party. Tell me a little bit about the party and your thoughts on that.
Termites.
Yeah. Were you expecting anything like that?
I was wincing. I'll be honest with you, right? He obviously shrank down to a very small person, very small. And when I was trying to figure out when he was on the bed, I thought it was his bumhole first of all.
Yeah,
because I thought that's a big orifice, but of course, perspective-wise, he's very, very small. Yeah. So he decided to basically go down what I can only term as his third eye.
Is the correct term is urethra?
That's correct. Well done, James.
Or is it urethra? I don't know.
Yeah,
on a barb.
Yeah,
but I think it's a wonderful parallel of that your fan theory that Ant-Man would be able to kill Thanos by crawling inside of his arsehole.
Yeah.
I wasn't entirely sure of the end game that he was expecting, because surely that would lead to death. That would lead to. I
think I know what the guy was hoping for.
Yeah,
but didn't he say
a tidal? Yeah, being that small, considering how Butcher kills him, right? Being that small and a tidal wave blasting out. What did he expect was going to happen?
Did you? Because I mean, God, it was a lot to take in, wasn't it? First of all, the actual imagery totally threw me. It was like, my God, I cannot believe I'm sat here watching this with my 15-year-old son, I have to say. And yeah, that threw us completely, the bulbosity of it all, I guess you'd say. And then I honestly, I didn't pick up on the sneeze thing. I literally thought, like you, Luke, you were going to see something come shooting out.
Yeah.
So were you guys shocked when he did the sneeze? And
yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, because he kept saying to him, didn't he? Oh, get down to the prostate. Get down to the prostate.
Yeah.
And I thought, let's give it a little massage.
I felt he'd done it before, because obviously he found so natural doing it that
very good.
Do you know that was like he's so natural doing it. He enjoyed doing it. That
he knew it.
That a sneeze, he should be able to control his size.
Yeah,
but it was a surprise for me.
What I was watching it. I was watching it at work during my lunch, and I had my headphones in.
Not on the business Wi-Fi. I hope.
Yeah, and you know, obviously after that point happens where he sneezes and he kills his lover. It's when Frenchie comes in and he's like, I didn't see anything, and he's like, well, you can't leave, and he goes swole, and then then Kiko comes through. And she's like, what's going on? He's on the floor. He just goes, he's trying to get in my ass. I was just like, I couldn't stop laughing.
Couldn't stop laughing.
I just couldn't stop. It was hilarious.
I mean, I thought it was just an amazing way to start the series. And I think it really kind of, for me, it really signaled that this was going to be a real balls against the wall kind of series where actually anything goes. And I mean, have we ever seen anything like that on TV? A giant throbbing penis end stuck on full screen?
No one's seen that.
You notice as well, though, guys. I don't know if you noticed. Back in my day in the 80s and 90s, there would always be topless women or bottomless women or whatever. Don't see any of that in this series. Just men's cocks and balls.
Yeah,
there's lots of cocks going on.
Yeah, no boobs.
Nothing, no boobs. It's almost gone the other way. Do you know what I mean? It's annoyed me a little bit. I've got to be honest.
I think what you're trying to say is it's very, very sexist, doesn't it? It feels a little bit sexist.
Yeah.
Maybe we should write in and say we need more boobs on screen.
Need a balance.
Let's make more boobs, please.
No boobs.
Yeah.
Would you guys find that like with like Disney Plus and like the Marvel series and whatnot? For me, they've largely been quite disappointing in terms of what we expect. But with this show, it constantly delivers. Yeah. And like I genuinely, there's not been one episode where I've come away and thought, I didn't enjoy that. There's always something in the episode that you remember and you think actually really good episode.
You know, you're right there, James, because I'm a big fan of this kind of series and in front of the writer as well. And he did a superb book called Wanted, which they turned into a movie. You might have seen it with
starring James McAvoy.
Yeah. It is a good film, but it has very little to do with the comic. You know, the comic is very much like this. It's mental. You know, you've got turd monsters in that as well and all kinds of stuff. So I was slightly worried that when they did The Boys, they weren't going to be able to do as much on screen as you kind of seen. Actually, it's not by the same writer, I don't think, is it? One's Garth Ennis. Boys is by Garth Ennis, and I think Miller does the other one.
Gareth Ennis is like Preacher, isn't it? Yeah. Did you watch Preacher?
Yeah, Preacher.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they literally are just chucking anything they can at the screen, which is tremendous. So let's move away from the giant penis then. And I really didn't know what image I could put on screen here because I did find one of the huge Jap's eye, but I thought I'm probably not allowed to put that on a stream at 8 o'clock at night, so we'll miss that one. We'll then get these kind of interviews with Homelander where he's reading the script and slowly going a bit madder and madder. And again, you know, we've talked about the performance on a few occasions and about how tremendous he is. This scene here where we've got the image where he's sat with Butcher, did because I don't know whether I was just feeling a bit too meta at that point. Afterwards, I wasn't sure if that had actually happened or if it was in Butcher's head. Did anybody else pick that up?
It happened. I thought
it happened.
Yeah.
Maybe I was still just trying to focus on
but I still don't understand how someone with superhero powers as Superman cannot find his own son.
Yeah, because in the first series, they had to put him in kind of like a protective bubble city thing or something, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hear that a lot, Mark. I hear that a lot.
It's not much to say about me.
So, what else did you think about this episode? Was there anything in particular that jumped out that you want to talk about? Because we had the death at the start of the penis blow up thing, and then we had this character.
Yeah, we had the director of the bureau, didn't we? That surprised us.
The reveal,
right?
The
big reveal with because this random guy turns up at her office, doesn't he?
That's right.
And asks for her by her old name. And she obviously didn't like that very much. So she made short shrift of him. Yeah. And that was pretty gruesome, that death as well. Because you see it is, I mean, his head and his jaw was gone, wasn't it? Most of this was gone.
Do you not
but
think
blood was bubbling.
It was before that, because didn't she do something with his hand, and his hand kind of shattered and bent and things as well?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do we think that she can kill Homelander?
No.
No.
I know
He
he
kind
can.
of was it. I don't know if it's
He
this
threatened her with
episode
that,
or
didn't
later
he?
on.
He said,
Yeah.
"I'll give you a go, give it a try."
I don't remember her from the comics. Maybe it's a long time since I've read it, but I don't remember her from the comics. But again, that was a really nice twist to the story, wasn't it? And again,
it was.
The special effects were just absolutely
amazing, absolutely incredible. I don't know what the budget is for this show, but you know, when you've got people like Disney and Sony, you know, and they've got millions and billions. This is head and shoulders above what you see, certainly on Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So do you know what I think that might come down to as well? Like, I feel like with those shows, effects artists aren't allowed to go that far. So even with a lesser budget, I think they're going to be more inclined to do the work here because it's probably the only place they can show it. All those other streaming services want to play it too safe.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, you're making the parallel there with Obi-Wan. Jason, and the special effects. That Obi-Wan is probably, you know, undoubtedly one of Disney's biggest flagship shows at the moment. And I know Ben's been doing his weekly show, so go and check that out, guys. But there's been some discussion and talk on there, hasn't there, about the special effects and about how at times like lightsabers haven't connected with blasts and things, and they've bounced around and so. And yet you've got this, which is on Amazon, which, let's be honest, I wouldn't imagine is getting anywhere near the amount of views as something like Kenobi. Yet I would say the special effects in this are trouncing anything I've seen in Disney for a while.
Absolutely. I feel that a lot of them are practical effects as well as CGI, which practical effects are far better to look at, aren't they? Let's face it.
I mean, I'll be honest, I helped them out with the practical effects for that giant penis. Do you know what I mean? That was...
I thought I recognised that.
Yeah, I had to colour the pubes. Anyway, so let's move on from that. Anything else you want to say about that episode? Sorry, we also had, didn't we, the plot change about Starlight being given co-chair, and that again, the way that was acted out, the kind of the child in him, you know, was just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
You've got to give your hats off as well to the I forgot the actor's name now, but who plays Stan Edgar. The way that he interacts with Homelander as well. It was two great actors just basically riffing off each other, isn't it?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, you know, in the context of the series, I guess that guy's got some balls, hasn't he? Yeah. Going up against, because he comes across like he literally doesn't give a shit. You know, what are you going to do, kind of thing. Okay, guys. So, final thoughts on that episode. How did it hit you as a first episode? We'll start with Simon.
Yeah, it was a brilliant episode to start. That's one of my favorite episodes. Like the whole, like blowing up with the cut thing. You know, that for me, it was shocking, and to me, that was one of my favorite episodes. Also to bring into a point that, you know, in later episodes, it talks about noir, and we don't see a lot of noir in these last 4 episodes. I'll bring that back to you later, but like, you know.
So this is one of the things I'm going to touch on a little bit later on, Simon. And it's a long time since I've read it. And I know Grey Man's in the chat still, and I know he's read it. There's a pretty big plot device with noir later on, but they've kind of changed. Well, they might have changed that in this series. So I'll not spoil it, but noir's a big player in this going forward, or if they keep to the comics, he should be.
Yeah.
Jason, just thoughts on this episode?
Yeah, a fantastic opening episode.
Fantastic opening. Let's see what you do.
Yeah, sorry about that. See what I did there. And I got to admit, I thought that was a great episode. How can they keep that up?
Yeah, that was the same, mate. James?
Yeah, exactly the same. First, obviously, the opening 10 minutes was just... You ask anybody who's seen this first season, they'll say the first 10 minutes, you won't believe, like, it's just crazy. And so it's just naturally progressed from that, and I've really enjoyed the first episode.
Yeah, superb. Luke?
Yeah, really enjoyed it. I'm going to struggle here, guys, because I actually binge watched this, so I'm struggling to work out where one episode ended and one started.
Yeah.
So this might, I don't want to accidentally get ahead of myself or say anything, but no, this absolutely blew me away. Like, what a great start to the beginning of the season.
Yeah, so I was exactly the same as you guys. This kind of took me a little bit by surprise. I don't know why, and maybe I'm doing it a disservice. I loved season 1. Season 2 lost us a little bit, so I wasn't super excited coming into this. And then I saw that first episode, and I thought, wow, if this maintains for the next 8 episodes, this is going to be phenomenal. Okay, so episode 2, the only man in the sky. This is a weird synopsis. So this is the official synopsis. The people of America honor their greatest superhero, Homelander, on his birthday. The Vought Shopping Network offer an exclusive gold coin while supplies last. Not quite sure. Fair enough.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So this episode, my life. I mean, I'll give you a few minutes just to look at the images. I'll quickly cant through some of the key things just so you know, like Luke was saying, what was happening. We get this kind of advert for the Deeps movie with Billy Zane playing Antonio. Is it not Antonio Banderas? What was the guy in the last series?
Oh, the leader of the cult, wasn't it?
Yeah. But incredible. We get the arm break, which was just absolutely vile. I nearly balked when I was watching
my God, I remember that now.
We get so we missed that in the first episode where he stands in front of Stormfront and she
my God, yes.
She pleasures him to relieve her.
Yes.
I forgot about that. So in this episode, he's planning his birthday, and this is where she bites her tongue off. Greyman's just literally mentioned there. Yeah, it was interesting to watch. So she bites her tongue off and kills herself. You get Billy trying the Compound V for the first time when he goes after gunpowder. And then that kind of scene in the car park. You get A-Train coming back in his crappy new uniform. Homeland.
Fucking awful.
Awful, isn't it?
Rebranding.
Oh, dreadful. Homelander meeting, can't remember what his name is. Was it Subsonic or Supersonic or something?
Supersonic.
Yeah, Supersonic. And then we get the birthday bash at the end where he just goes apeshit, doesn't he? And he starts kind of, but that scene, and I'm going to let you guys talk about it. That scene is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, I think. Okay, guys, lots to unpack there. We'll start with Jason. Anything in there you want to particularly mention, Jason?
I'll go on the negative first of all. I thought that the scene with gunpowder was a bit of a letdown for me to a certain degree, especially the bit
gunpowder.
Gunpowder, is it? Yeah. Right, yeah. I thought it was a bit of it dragged out a little bit too long for me. I think a little bit. But everything else in this particular episode was fantastic. And you know the way he greets Supersonic, Homelander, and he's smiling and everything like that. And just that look that he gives, you just don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah,
you, like James said, you're on tenterhooks all the time because you just do not know what he's going to do. He gives a smile, and it just stays, like that. And you think, what the, But it was really good seeing Billy Butcher as well getting the powers.
I thought you were going to say it was really good seeing Billy Zane.
Oh yeah, and Billy Zane, fair dues. Fair to seeing him, but
interesting.
Generally,
I'm interested in the gunpowder bit, Jason. Do you mean the bit in the car park at the end of the kind of the lead up?
Yeah. I just felt that I don't know. Maybe I was getting a little bit fatigued. Maybe I was feeling a bit tired and grumpy. But I just felt it just went on a little bit too long for me. But
interesting.
I lost interest a little, shall I say?
Yeah. Simon, what about yourself?
Yeah. So this one lost me a bit compared to the first episode because I really think they shoved 3 stories in one in this.
Yeah.
So you have obviously Gunpowder, that story with Soldier Boy, and leading on to that, and then you have the hero sort of wannabe, sort of Britain's Got Talent
Yeah.
type thing. and then you've got is it Maeve who's ill with Homelander, and yeah, I won't say it, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
interesting.
we've got 3 or 4 stories in one, and I think that's why people in the second episode sort of off tracked.
Do you think it was too much?
Yeah, you should stick to 2 or 3 storylines. You shouldn't stick to that. They shoved a lot in episode 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. James?
Well, I'm trying to remember now. Is this the episode where I know we meet Gunpowder here, but has he met? Have they gone to that like Disneyland part and met the ex-girlfriend of Soldier Boy?
I can't.
Is that at the beginning of this episode?
Yeah,
I feel like. I think.
Well, what?
But the what?
LGBT turkey legs.
Yeah. So what I was going to say, what I like about The Boys is it takes the piss out of real world events.
Yeah.
So you've got Billy Butcher going to this like gun show, and there's like little kids walking around, and it takes the absolute piss out of basically what's happening in America at the moment, and then they went to like Disneyland. It was all those different themed things to do with like BLM and LBGTQ and stuff like that, and it just it parodies a bit on all what's going on in real life, and I do actually really enjoy that side of it, because I just think it's a bit of light humor, isn't it? Yeah,
it puts a bit of a mirror on things, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I forgot about that scene, to be honest, in the theme park.
Yeah. I'm hoping that's this episode, and it's not.
I think it is. Yeah.
But again, I like Jason. I was a bit let down with the whole that little bit of the fight against Gunpowder at the end. Obviously, I liked it when he cut him in half, but I just thought, besides him having a really good shot, what was he? Wasn't really.
So it's interesting you say that, because like I say, I've watched this with my son. Don't judge us. And my son said exactly the same thing. He said, "What are his powers?" And I was just like, "Well, he got a good aim." And then it was at that point he shot the bullet, and it kind of ricocheted around.
Guys, that's like Bullseye, right? From Daredevil. Right, it's no different.
And Hawkeye.
Yeah. So what did you think of this one then, Luke? Is anything that stood out for you?
That arm break, man. That as someone who was extremely accident prone as a kid, I've had breaks like that, and my God, did I feel it when I watched this episode. Kamiko,
did you watch it? Did you actually watch? Because I have to say, I was doing
I watched it. I watched it. Kamiko, the female, is my favorite character in both the comics and this show. I think she is amazing. And I'm not going to get too far ahead with that. But yeah, that scene, and the fact that they, again, just to highlight about Kamiko as well, I like that they've got a super on their side. I've always liked it, and it's such a strange dynamic, because they want to stop the supes, but at the same time they're so embedded with them. They're so united with them. So yeah, the arm break was the thing that stood out to me.
Yeah,
and you can see that starting to happen, can't you, with Billy and later on other characters using the V and all the rest of it. So the end kind of bit was this Homelander rant thing, where he's basically telling everybody he's God and he is better than them and all the rest of it. That's kind of, I mean, it was a bit spine chilling at times, because you just don't know where he's going, like you've already said.
I was fully on board. I was there with him. I support Homelander. Yes, he's right. He is.
Well, he's 100% right, and that's a scary thing.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Right. So next episode 3, Bombay Coast. This is where we get a little bit of the America's Got Superheroes, or whatever it's called, competition. 3 contestants remain in the finale of American Hero, and only 2 are allowed to join the 7. Someone will be moving into 7 Tower.
Yeah.
This is where it all starts to go a little bit tits up again, doesn't it? So this whole setup of the American Hero thing, I thought was superb. And then the whole kiss thing. And this was the episode where we kind of get them talking with Mallory, I think she's called, and we get the backstory of the team Payback.
That's
right.
And
it introduces this side kind of character of is it Little Nina or something? The Russian lady.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We also have the little bit where the kid from the the second season almost has a bit of a Barney with Billy, doesn't he? So, what did we think about this episode? We'll start with you, Simon. Anything that jumped out to you?
Obviously this is a main episode for Noir, so like we saw him burnt and everything. Also the kid as well, like, and it was an introduction of actual Soldier Boy. Like, so this was a whole new story plot, like introducing Story Boy and one of the boys' sort of back history to Story Boy and killing his family.
Yeah.
And to me, that isn't in season 1 and 2. You don't even see that, and so this is a whole new story plot.
Yeah.
So,
I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I can't remember the actor's name who plays Soldier Boy, but I think everybody was really
Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Ackles,
Supernatural.
and he was
Yeah.
phenomenal in it. Absolutely
Brilliant. He's great. I love him. He's fantastic.
So, what did you think then, Jason? Was there anything that jumped out in this?
Yeah, I thought it was a great episode. I like the fact that this first round of superheroes that they had, I can't remember whether it was in Nicaragua or somewhere, and they just didn't have a clue what they were doing, really, did they? They were just like a load of kids with superpowers, and they were just shooting things and blowing up and causing chaos. They were causing more problems than they were helping. You had is the equivalent of like Batman and Robin, didn't you? You had Jensen Ackles. It was like almost a Captain America, I suppose, with a blooming bazooka, and he's just holding it like this, and the guy's standing right behind it, and you're thinking this is gonna end in disaster. And you had Wasp, was it? Or was it was like a Wasp? Great, fantastic. I loved it.
And that's, I think, when this series is really at its strongest. It's when it does chuck in those kind of just random superhero-y type. Well, I'm saying heroes, those super characters that they don't need to go into too much great kind of detail on. It's a guy with wings who's floating about, you know.
Yeah.
James, what did you think? What did you think of the noir stuff? Do you think we're going to see more of that?
I'm glad you asked me that, because that's what I was going to get onto. So, what I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but he meant the guy who's obviously playing Noir mentioned that he's got a peanut allergy.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it's the same Noir that from, I don't know if it was last season or the season before, when they found out about that he's got a peanut allergy, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
So it seems to be the same character.
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting going forward is, I think with Noir is that, I mean, if I was Butcher, I would take Noir out and get his suit, and then that way you could just be around Homelander 24/7.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the special effects on this were really good, and we saw bits of his brain exposed and all kinds of stuff. You kind of wonder if that's why this character doesn't speak, because he's got those brain injuries and things like that. I'm not going to go into the comic, but this, from my memory of the comic, and it'd be interesting if anybody in the comments just says if I'm right or wrong, this kind of shifts things a little bit, because I'm not sure this is how it plays out in the comics. But I like it. I thought it was really interesting.
Are we not allowed to talk about the comics and all? Is that?
But I wouldn't, because the comic with this particular character is like major spoilers for the end of how the entire thing kind of finishes off.
Am I close to what I perceive to may happen at one?
Well, no, don't say, because that's
read
spoiling
the comic and find out.
He loves his spoilers.
Luke, if I can come to you about the young lad, do you think this is being set up for? This is the guy who's going to take on Homelander at some point?
No, I don't think he can. You've got to be trained the right way to be able to do that. And this is a kid that's just full of emotion. I don't think he's going to be strong enough to take on Homelander at all. No is the simple answer. I think I don't see it happening. If anything, I think it's more likely that Homelander's going to find him and kill him. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that weapon, or that, I know they're looking for a different weapon, but I don't think the kid is gonna do anything.
And you see, normally I would say, the killing off of a young kid on screen is probably going to be frowned upon. But this series, I think anything's
They could get away with
isn't
it. They could get away with it.
Yeah. What did we think about the Russian subplot? This whole kind of individual. I can't remember her from previous series. I don't know if she's been in it before.
No,
I think
this
she's
is
been
the first
referred to, but I don't think we've seen her now.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
she's only come in, hasn't she, because of Frenchie's ex or something, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's French
She owed a
sex.
lot of money or something.
I mean, it was a pure plot
Oh.
device, wasn't it? To
He
get them
used
to
to
Russia.
work for her, I
Yeah.
think. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And of course, in this, we get the Deep kind of rejoining the Seven, as part of America's hero or whatever, and we'll have poor Timothy.
Oh, Timothy.
Is that this
Timothy.
episode, or was this the next one? This is.
No, I
can't
think that was
remember.
think that was this episode.
It was this
Oh, poor
episode.
Timothy.
Oh,
But again, the special, they're getting an award for it, for Timothy being eaten.
because
They've
it is part practical,
yeah.
isn't it?
and it's part Peter, is it, or whatever? It's part Peter. Like,
Yeah, so I think because they didn't actually eat a real octopus, or the animal rights people have kind of given them an award for animal welfare. Because it was...
we can pretend to eat an octopus, but we can't actually eat an octopus.
Yeah,
I mean, it looked
Have you seen Old
incredible,
Boy?
to be honest.
Have you seen Old Boy?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, this scene again was just incredible. In that it showed how nuts and how much of an absolute bastard Homelander is, and we've not even mentioned, earlier episodes where he's been saying things to A-Train about, I can see your belly hanging out and things like that.
Yeah,
he's just
that's
a
right.
nasty prick.
Can
isn't
we
he?
go back a little bit, and when obviously Deep was having sexual intercourse with his missus, and Timothy was watching, and he was looking at Timothy as like, and then he eats Timothy. That to me was the whole connection.
Yeah.
Eating Timothy is one thing because obviously he's the Deep, but the fact that he had that sexual connection was another thing.
That bit, you're right. That bit when he was having sex and he's literally talking to the octopus was just
Simon, that is very deep.
Yeah, very
right. So, okay, guys. So this was kind of the third episode. What did we think of this? Just very quickly, was this a killer of an episode for you guys, or did it leave you wanting something different? Start with Luke.
Yeah, I mean, I literally, like I said before, I dived straight onto the next episode as soon as this was done. So I was on board for the roller coaster of a ride.
Yeah. Ben, it doesn't count unless you are actually looking at the goldfish and talking to it whilst you were doing it.
Oh, Ben,
Maybe
I'm not
it was.
surprised at that.
Yeah. James,
Filthy
what did
Ben,
you think? Was this a
filthy
killer
Ben.
episode for you? Or?
Yeah, it was a good episode again. Was intrigued by the whole Soldier Boy plot and the big, Homelander with Starlight at the end, like trying to portray that they're together, just is absolutely nuts.
Yeah,
just good ending of the show.
Superb. Jason.
Yeah, really good show. Again, it's almost like it almost feels like a love triangle between Huey, Starlight, and Homelander. But also, you've got the ex Supersonics coming in as an extra dynamic to the relationship.
What's his fucking power? Because we don't even know, do we?
He's a good singer, apparently.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Yeah. Simon,
I
did you like
imagine
this
he's going to be a bit like what's his name from Marvel, who mouth disappeared.
Yeah.
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt. I assume he's just like that, right? I'm assuming he can hit those high notes. That
we didn't find out, did we? And I guess when we look at the next episode, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well,
Simon, did you enjoy this episode overall?
I've enjoyed every episode. I think this is explaining, like, following on from like the second episode, trying to explain 4 stories in one.
Yeah.
And that's you're trying to figure out. Oh, okay. This is his story. This is his story. Does this one involve? I can't remember a lot of A-Train's story, like where he's trying to wear his really crap suit and trying to get back in.
Yeah, I have to say that's one of the. You were talking before about too many elements going on. I'm not particularly interested in what's happening with A-Train. I don't know if anybody else is. It's kind of just
But I feel like A-Train's probably going to be one of the key players, right? Because
I think
we know that he can't run anymore without causing himself a heart failure. But I think he will sacrifice himself in that fight against Homelander. I think he's going to be pivotal to that fight.
I think they're definitely, because if the show was finished with him, he wouldn't no longer be in it, would they? Let's be honest.
No, exactly.
I think they are building some sort of plot device for him.
I think they're making him so cringeworthy in the hope of like redeeming him to make you feel almost sorry for him. Like obviously we've seen him as the drug addict. We've seen him kill Huey's girlfriend by running through her. You know, now we just kind of pity him and feel sorry for him, and we're kind of like a bit cringed.
Well,
but then he'll
he
come
does
to the end.
he does something in the next episode that kind of fractures that a bit. But doesn't
I'll be honest with you, I don't feel sorry for him at all now.
No. But it did make me laugh when Homelander's interactions with him when he's drinking that milkshake or whatever that protein. What you got there? Got a protein shake. He's like, you fat fuck.
It was like when he walked on stage at the birthday party in episode 2. He's like, "Hi, how you doing? I can see your girl, you fat twat."
It's not, you know what? It wasn't so much Homelander saying that. It was when he muttered something under his breath and Homelander switched and just came at him.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So last episode. So we've got glorious 5-year plan. The boys head to Russia to investigate the mysterious super weapon that killed Soldier Boy in 1984, hoping it can do the same to Homelander. And then a new romance is blossoming. So, okay. So we get this political advert thing with A-Train at the start. Did you think that was real, or did you know it was an advert from the get-go?
I didn't know from the get-go, but it was very quick. Like, soon realised.
Yeah.
Again, taking the piss out of
Pepsi, was it?
World of it, yeah.
Was it Pepsi Cola advert? Wasn't it?
From the start, I think he's had this kind of A-Train drink, hasn't he? Energy drink kind of thing that he's been flogging.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to go and help them protest.
Yeah.
They also fucking drink
all the peace symbols and.
But that scene where he kind of speeds in front of the two with his arms out, I just thought was great. I love that.
Yeah. He's all for his views, isn't he? Really? So.
Yeah. He's got no substance, has he?
But look at his outfit, for fuck's sake! What?
Horrible. But you know what? And I feel like I'm going to get criticised for saying this, but I don't even understand what it's meant to represent. What? Do you know what I mean? It's supposed to be a cultural kind of.
I think it's supposed to be like an African heritage type colours, isn't it?
Yeah, but
I'm guessing.
I understand that A stands for A-Train on his shoulders, but like, what's going on with the rest of the outfit? Like, it was just like it slapdash together.
Yeah.
It really, I don't understand how he's come up with that.
Yeah, I mean the costume. I didn't understand the costume. I mean Ben's just saying there that he likes the subplot. It's captivating. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I have to say,
I think when you get into the next episode, it probably makes
right. Don't say anything. Here he goes again. I've seen episode 5. You haven't.
This episode though, does he not see? Is it his sort of brother-in-law and like that? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
and he mentions about there's like some racist attacks by a superhero in Trenton or something.
Ben, you should have been on the bloody show to educate us, shouldn't you? That's all I'm saying.
No, Ben, I said the African heritage thing, so you can give me
exactly.
fair.
No racism here.
Yeah.
Well, there must be every freaking African country there, not on there. Because it's, I mean, you got green. What's that bit where it's like purple and green diamonds and black and white stripes?
I don't. It's not a. It doesn't jump out.
I wouldn't go too far into it.
And then, of course, we get this bit, don't we, where he kind of, I mean, we'll get to it near the end, but he basically screws over the other guy, doesn't he? Doesn't he go to Homelander and tell Homelander about the plans?
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah, so the guy who's on Britain's Got Talent,
Supersonic,
he basically dobs on him.
Yeah. But I've got a theory.
Go on then. A theory that doesn't involve episode
5. Right, yeah.
No, I've got, it's nothing to do with episode 5.
Right.
I hate seeing, like, I'm not saying this guy's a major character, Supersonic, but we've seen him in pretty much every episode.
So far.
I don't like seeing off-screen deaths.
Yeah, no,
because I don't believe, I think it's some sort of plan. Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a plan. I just missed seeing the fight.
Oh, Homelander killed him.
Yeah.
Yes, but we all
He
we saw
wasn't
was a
dead.
body.
He was beaten up. We didn't actually see him like dead.
His head was fucking missing.
I was going to say his jaw was missing, wasn't it? It was like,
Well, okay.
His whole fucking his head was fucking gone. It was
But
bubbling.
do you not think it would have been a more powerful thing if he killed Supersonic in front of Starlight?
yeah,
Said, look what I can do.
yeah.
Not necessarily.
I don't think the show would skimp out. This is my prediction. I think Starlight is going to go to like the press and stuff and say like Homelander's fucking nuts, blah 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 blah. He did this, he did that, he killed Supersonic, and then Supersonic be like, "Yeah, I'm not dead."
Yeah, it did feel. It did. I mean, I kept thinking that this guy's going to turn out to be on Homelander's kind of team, if you know what I mean. Anyway, moving on from that dildo fight. Howie, I mean,
this was epic. This was such a cool fight scene.
Brilliant.
I've never seen it. I mean, Jesus God. So, Simon, what did you think of the massive amount of dildos on screen?
Kimiko. So, yeah, I didn't expect that. Like, to her, like, how the hell did she throw that dildo like a dagger? Like, to me, that was unrealistic in a sense. Like,
that was unrealistic. Okay.
Yeah. A
dildo dynamics weren't quite correct. You're right.
No,
Listen,
come
Simon, the
on.
last time you threw a dildo that hard, did it have that same effect?
Honestly, come on. Look. A dildo is not a knife. It can't go through someone's. What was it? The throat or the head? It went through.
Yeah, it's like the neck, wasn't it?
The neck. Yeah, the neck. And it like impaled them. And I was like, really? Like, even if someone threw that hard, I don't even think a dildo would go through someone's neck.
that
Anyway,
It's
being
so funny that
said-
we're just talking about this.
Can you say dildo one more time for me?
Yeah.
It's really getting me off.
That being said, like, the biggest scene in this was obviously Kimiko turning around to one of the strippers or the prostitutes, and she shot her in the head.
Yeah.
That was the biggest scene in this, and I didn't expect a Wolverine sort of scene where the bullet comes out and she heals. So
I forgot she had
you're
healing
exactly
abilities.
yeah,
I completely
same.
forgot.
So did I.
I thought she was dead.
That was an important
Yeah.
plot point though for what was supposed to happen at the end,
yeah.
wasn't it?
For episode, the next
Episode
end of the
one.
episode or
End of
so,
the episode, yeah.
I knew she had healing abilities, but she had a bullet in the brain there. I didn't think it was that extreme.
No.
I genuinely think that is to show us, like, because it is a wall between seasons, isn't it? So you do forget, don't you?
Yeah. Dildo dynamics hashtag. I think that's what we should be coming up with. And I think Simon should be writing, safety messages. A dildo is not a knife, just so people are aware.
Yeah.
Have you
Don't
seen
get
the
him confused.
Have you seen the fake Funko adverts for releasing the dildos, like the Homelander dildo, the Black Noir, and the deep?
Really?
It's like a black-
The sneak ones out a while ago. I saw them on something. Anyway,
But how can Simon say? Sorry, how can Simon say that the biggest scene in this is that when you have that hamster? The hamster's the weapon.
True, yeah.
Or the gerbil, or whatever it is. That is the
Gerbil.
weapon to kill Homelander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody want to say anything else about the dildo fight, or shall we move on from that?
Move on.
Move on.
No more.
It's more a case of just the character of Kimiko doesn't want all this. She doesn't want to go for it. My heart bleeds for her. It really does. Like,
yeah,
the fact that she's mute as well. Yeah, and I'm not sure which episode it is when we heard her singing with
the first one.
the girl with the piano.
Is that
Like,
Disney?
it's just so nice to see, and it's such a shame.
She was
like,
upset killing all these people, wasn't she?
yeah,
So-
she doesn't want to be a killer, and yet
But
she was
it's
made
the
this
classic
way.
thing, isn't it? One more mission, just one more mission.
And that's the sad thing, isn't it, really? Because Frenchie's supposed to be a kind of protector, I guess, and he's still putting her through it. He should have pulled her out of this and walked away.
He was meant to be the one that saved her, and if anything, he's damaging her more.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got deep. Let's get back to dildos. So we also have the subplot where basically the main guy at Vought gets ousted, doesn't he? And we'll have that that shift of balance again. Shift of
This is
power.
totally his plan, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
This guy is like 4 steps ahead every time. He's right
Stanley?
where he wants to be. Yeah,
You think?
Surely.
yeah, I think so.
Did you all think that Homelander was going to try and kill him in that scene, or
No, because I think Homelander.
I don't think he dares.
He's got such balls, hasn't he? Standing, it's just like unbelievable.
Why is Homelander scared of him then? What's got over him?
I think Homelander's probably spent his entire life being under the kind of the thumb of power and people of authority, daddy issues, basically. Yeah. So I think he's, I think even though he hates the guy and respects him, he's still.
I think because, like, look, this is basically the creator of you, basically, to Homelander. So, like, you wouldn't argue what he says if he's the creator of you.
Yeah.
I think Homelander puts it perfectly when he says all he wants to do is be liked and loved by everybody. Mm-hmm. But if he can't have that, he'll settle for being feared.
Yeah.
Which is the...
I'm very much the same, James. I'm very much the same. That's why I host my YouTube
channel. And again, you know, that was a tremendous scene, James. You're right. It was just incredibly powerful. Luke, let us come to you then. The bit in the kind of the lab where they're looking for the weapon. What did you make of all that?
So, are we talking just hamster stuff, or are we talking drug stuff? Like,
you talk whatever you want.
So,
preferably both.
It's about time that they've started taking this Compound V stuff, because in the comics, that's pretty much all they do. Now, that being said, I do like that they're just regular humans in this series so far. Like, so even though I've always wanted it, I've kept anticipating it. Now that we have it, I'm kind of like, oh, I do prefer it though when they are the underdog and they've got to play their wits in order to beat the superheroes. And I do worry now, moving forward, that it's just going to be soup versus soup. Like, it's not as clever. Like, there's something so good, especially that original season where they take on the invisible guy and they've got to use their brains of how they're going to get by or get rid of this invisible corpse. You know, I like that stuff, you know, whereas now it's literally just going to be eye fights, like literally
but it
shooting
has
lasers
to
at
have,
each other.
It has to have that, doesn't it? Because realistically, they haven't got a chance, have they? They haven't got a hope in hell against some of these characters. What did you, Jason, coming to you, then what did you think of the kind of the reveal at the end? We knew it was coming, I think, didn't we? Where, you know,
I mean, of course he was alive, wasn't he? We knew that. I think the thing that shocked me more was the fact that I can't remember her name, the director lady of the bureau.
Yeah.
Dobbed in Stan.
Her father, practically.
Yeah. But I know what she did. She's afraid of Homelander. And of course, then she ends up giving Compound V then to her daughter.
What was that?
Yeah, so this is
came out to protect her, I suppose, is it?
So this is the permanent one, right? So Compound V is the temporary one, and she gave the permanent one. I'm really interested to see what abilities the daughter exhibits, because it sounded like it was going to be something horrific, like maybe she's turned her daughter into a monster now. Like, I'm waiting to see how that plays out, because obviously you want to do right by your family, you want to protect them and give them this thing to protect them. But if you give them something, you know, like we see in X-Men, there's some mutants that can go about every day and there's some that can't. And if you've done something to your own child, you know, when you've basically made the wrong choices, I want to see what happens next.
Yeah. And we kind of saw spine and stuff moving and things.
Yes.
It just, for me, it came a little bit out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it, but it was pretty heart-wrenching as well, to be honest. James, coming to you then, the end, we've obviously already kind of touched on, but the end bit where we see that Homeland has killed Supersonic and whatnot, or ripped his jaw off, whatever we think. Were you expecting that betrayal?
Not so soon. I thought it'd play out a bit longer, because you could see obviously he was trying to recruit A-Train, wasn't he? Supersonic into that, and you just know that Starlight is going to feel to blame for what's happened to Supersonic. But yeah, I to be honest, I didn't see that coming straight away. To be honest,
I was kind of convinced he was going to double cross her. To be honest, I thought he was going to be kind of setting her up. Okay, guys, so that was kind of the end of the 4 episodes we've seen so far. overall thoughts.
Did we miss the main part though with Mariko?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
Kamiko.
Because she's dead, isn't she?
So she
we've
took
not watched
Soldier
episode
Boy's
5, so
last
we don't know.
Yeah,
I think,
he's not
well, I'm pretty sure she's dead, and Super Soldier here, Jensen Ackles, is the weapon.
Yeah,
because he killed her, didn't he?
Right.
Well,
So
it looks like he's taken away her healing factor, as you would say for Wolverine.
He kind of exploded, didn't he?
Who's,
Does he remove powers?
What's Cyclops' brother?
Havoc.
Because obviously Havoc, yeah, he's got basically the same power as Havoc, where he shoots out of his belly.
I wonder if that makes a particular comic go up in value, Peter.
Yeah, I hope so. That's been a bloody fortune for it. That's interesting. I'm wondering. I mean, trying not to look into James's eyes here. I wonder if that's the weapon in terms of it removes Soup's powers.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing
Homelander.
here is the hamster. Like, where did that hamster go?
Exactly.
Up my ass.
So the gerbil plays an important part in the comic books, from what I remember.
Yeah,
in the first few.
Well, obviously, Soldier Boy's on the loose now. He's free, free from the.
And I can't wait to see more of him. I have to say, I think he's tremendous. Okay, guys. So, sorry, James.
I was going to say, I think, I mean, somebody correct me if I'm right, but obviously the character is like a parallel of, a parody of Captain America, isn't it? And I think he might have auditioned for the original, for Chris Evans' role.
Right,
really?
right.
The actor, yeah, I think he might have.
I didn't know that. Yeah, it's definitely a parallel. And again, interesting, he's not in the comics that much, to be honest. He's they have a pretty big battle, but they're not in that much. Okay, then, guys. So overall, on a grading of kind of 1 to 5, 5 being superb, 1 being cack, just let us know where you're at. So, Luke, where are you at?
So right now I'm at a 5. I've been heavily entertained. You know, there's not been a single moment where I've gone, "Oh, this sucks" or "This is dragging." I literally binge watched all 4 episodes, and I was entertained throughout.
Yeah. Interesting, James.
I'm exactly the same. I'm at a 5 out of 5. I'm absolutely loving it, and it's only going to get better.
Wow, Jason.
Yeah, a big 5 from me, mate. It's going from strength to strength. And like I say, season 3 is definitely the best season so far. I mean, let's hope it keeps continuing that trajectory. But I'm absolutely loving it. I can't wait to see episode 5 as soon as the show finishes.
Okay, Simon, no pressure.
I'm not going to go tops because everyone else has. I'm going to go 4 out of 5. Because I love it. I love it as a show, but I still think the story plots are losing a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of shoved story plots there.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on to obviously Homelander. Has anyone ever seen the animated series Superman versus Elite?
No.
Superman versus who?
The Elite.
Oh, the Elite. Yes, absolutely.
The Elite.
Yeah, Manchester Black.
Yeah. So this is one animated series where Superman actually flips his lid, and you know it's great to watch Homelander. Like, when is he gonna flip his lid? This is it, you know. And like the Elite push Superman to his absolute max, where he absolutely flips his elite, and we see literally what Superman can do when he flips his head. And this has happened in comics before, obviously, but like in an animated series, I love that. Yeah. And we can't wait for Homelander to just flip his lid.
Yeah. So. I think you're absolutely right, Simon. And I think if you know what I would say is that animated series, Superman versus the Elite, is based on the comic book version of it, which I think might be Superman 750. And it's what's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way. I think it's by Grant Morrison. I might be wrong, but it's absolutely amazing. It's better than the animated series. It's phenomenal. It's well worth a read.
It is really good.
So Ben's scoring in the comments, 4.8 out of 5, as close to perfect as the series can get. Just a few moments each episode that are paced a bit slow. So guys, I'm going to agree. I'm basing this purely on entertainment value. I was like, Luke, I blitzed this in one sitting, which is why now it's a bit struggle to try and remember. I've been thoroughly entertained all the way through. So for me, it's a big fat 5. And I think, interestingly, I don't know if this figure's still correct, but on Rotten Tomatoes, and I know Rotten Tomatoes is a load of cack, but on Rotten Tomatoes, it's getting a 98% thumbs up, which is pretty impressive for a series like this. Is pretty impressive. I guess people like giant Japs' eyes. It's it's
and
doing incredibly well. And I see they've already said that they're going to do another season, which is fantastic. I really do hope, because I'm a bit of a sucker. This is why I love Invincible and things like that. I love a complete story. So I kind of hope they finish it properly.
So going on Invincible, I actually read all of Invincible now. So and it's so far behind the animated series. There's so much of Invincible that needs to be put into animated.
Yeah,
I don't know if they would ever do that.
No.
And
I think you're right.
I love Invincible. I think Invincible, to me, is far better than The Boys, but I like my animation and anime and things like that. So.
Yeah.
But I think when sorry,
no, carry on, James.
I was going to say, but the contrast between Omni-Man and Homelander is that Omni-Man, you kind of understand maybe why he's doing what he is, because he's doing it for, he's been sent on that mission. But whereas in Homelander, Homelander is, it's just like, you just don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. And Omni-Man, again, not to spoil things for people, but he does have that kind of arc where he comes back around a little bit, I guess. The playing Homelander very much like your schoolyard bully. He's just not a nice guy.
But you know what? I feel like maybe it's just the way the actor is portraying him, but I feel like he is both very scary, but also you kind of care for him in some scenes. Like sometimes, every now and then, there is something where you do kind of go, oh shit, like he does genuinely just want to be liked, and he's been dealt this set of cards that he is different to everyone else. He is better. Mm-hmm. It's got to be hard at some, and I think
he's had to live with superpowers and
and not to focus too much on the comics either, but I feel like Homelander in the show is far better than Homelander in the comics.
Oh yeah, I agree, and I think that's a lot down to the actor. To be honest, the actor is just absolutely amazing,
completely amazing.
Okay, guys, so I think this has been a very pleasant show in that I think we're all gushing a little bit about it. It's unusual for all to be in agreement about everything. So tremendous series. Can't wait to see what comes next. Next from us, I will be doing a season 3 kind of final review at some point in the future. So I'd love you guys, if you're available, to come back on so we can kind of round this up. I'm sure it's going to be a stonker. Stuff coming on from my channel. I've got my usual videos coming out, but I've also got Boys and the Toys coming out on the 28th with the usual gang. We've changed the format a bit, so really looking forward to that. Should be fun. So we'll go to Luke first. Luke, what have you got coming up, mate?
So today I actually went back and watched one of my very first videos on my YouTube channel and decided to remake it. So, it's a bit of an update, see like a bit of more information on the subject, as well as, my own performance to the camera as, 2 years have passed here on YouTube. And I thought it'd be quite fun to see the difference between the two videos. So that's what I've done today. However, that won't be released until probably late next week. But before that, you can check us out on the Geek Retreat Sunday night hangout. So Peter will be joining me, as well as anyone else who cares to join us for that evening. And we'll be talking about the week's geeky news.
So what are our topics this week, Luke?
Oh, don't put me on the spot. I don't know yet.
Tremendous. Jason, what have you got coming up?
Well, not a lot really. I've got a couple of videos coming out. I have recently purchased a big Marvel Blue chip key book, which again I haven't told Amanda about. She knows I've bought a book, but she doesn't know which one it is. So and I haven't told her the price either. Right. So I'm going to be filming that probably this weekend, and then I'll be looking for a new place to live then for next week.
You can move in up here, mate. Just bring your comics; it'll be fine.
Well, if it's all right with you, I do want to come up to Newcastle seriously, and I was hoping like one day. In the next couple of weeks, maybe come up and say hello to you. I won't stay in your house or anything. Unless you want me to, I'll stay in a hotel, and perhaps we could go around looking at comics. James, I mentioned it to you as well, didn't I, mate? We should go up.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
Absolutely. So there's some good shops you might have seen in Darlington and places like that. Happy to give you a tour.
The Dull Night.
Yeah.
Go to.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Excellent.
Yeah.
Look forward to that, mate. Simon.
Hello. So with me, obviously, I'd like to start my own channel, like Simon Comic Lag. I haven't done that yet. I haven't got an Instagram yet. It's something I aspire to do later on down the line. Yeah, really, with me, I'm looking at going to cons this year. I'm looking the next con I'm going to is in probably Manchester, probably the Anime and Gaming Con.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's in, when is it? July, probably. So yeah, I'm looking to go to that one, and probably later on, I'm going to go meet up with Ben to go to the next one, which is Manchester or Thought Bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, back at Thought Bubble again. So I will see you there. So
Superb.
yeah.
Oh, looking forward to that, mate. Looking forward to Thought Bubble. That'd be great. And James. Look at those eyebrows. Do that again. That was incredible.
I can't do it again. So this Wednesday at 6 p.m. there will be a video dropping of Mikey has bought a CGC book that comes from the personal collection of a well-loved comic book artist who has recently passed.
Right.
So it's from their personal collection.
It could be any one of 5 people then.
It could practically anyone now. It's absolutely horrific.
Yeah, I know.
So Mikey's very proud to own it. I'm a bit jealous, to be honest. I didn't even know.
Looking forward to seeing that one. That'll be an interesting one. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for you all coming on. I always do appreciate spending time with you guys. And I appreciate the support you give to me and the channel. So thank you very much, guys. Great series, and I look forward to catching up with you all when we do the last couple of episodes. So thanks very much, and we'll say good night. Night, everyone.
See ya.
Au revoir.